Jeremy Vine is having a fairly tough time of it at the moment, isn't he? I don't know whether you saw him getting drenched recreating Rishi Sunak's speech yesterday, but I'm thinking not so much about that, and I'm thinking more about his experience of being vilified by Alex Belfield, and now he's been in court again after being called names by a fellow called Barton. He was called a nonce and a pedo defender, and the judge has recognised that these things are genuinely defamatory. I have difficulty with the first word, and I didn't realise that it was quite so bad. I had to look it up, and I'm familiar with the word nance, and indeed there's a very interesting play. Oh goodness, who on earth performs in it? I can't remember. With a wonderful fellow from the producers who took the central part, the main part in the Nance on Broadway, and Nance was a contraction of a word for effeminate, defamatory, but so often used, and it was very much a term that was used in the music halls and especially in the American vaudeville circuit. And there is a theory that nonce is a corruption of nance, and the word nance was certainly used in the prison circuit in the early part of the 20th century. So where does nonce come from? There is an idea that it's an acronym, but acronyms, there's so many acronyms that are invented. There's a story that Adidas is short for all day I dream of sport. I mean, it's ridiculous, really. Next moment you're going to be saying that Nike is an acronym. I can't think what Nike would be an acronym of. Never identified for kleptomaniacs emancipation. I have no idea how you would turn Nike into or Nike, which is the word. It's a Greek goddess of victory. But there's an idea that nonce comes from an acronym which was put on the doors of sexual offenders saying not on normal courtyard exercise, and it comes from HMP Wakefield in Yorkshire. And this was told in a TV documentary, but it's not true, it seems. So I don't really know the origin of the word or the origin of this pejorative term for the word nonce. When I was a child, I used to hear it a lot in Lincolnshire, because in Lincolnshire, the word nonce was simply a contraction of the word nonsense to mean stupid, worthless, ridiculous, and so I can remember people using the word nonce as a playground term of a playground put down, but certainly it didn't have the same sense that it's got today. And in fact, I'm probably guilty of using the term myself in that playground sense, or at least I have been in the past, and as a contraction of nonsense. But once words acquire a new meaning, one has to embrace that new meaning, and the judge is quite right to say, you're using this word which has an understood meaning, which is defamatory and deeply abusive. And from that point of view, I think one should be terribly supportive of Jeremy Vine, who has had a really tough time over the last few years. First, as I say, with Alex Belfield, and now with other people who just think he's a prime target for abuse. That's not right. Simply because someone's on the television doesn't mean that they are open to abuse, or that their families are open to abuse. It's not right. It's not right. There are times when I think it is right to call people out for doing the wrong thing, particularly people who put themselves out there, like politicians. But people who are fronting television programs, I don't think they need to carry that job with them backwards and forwards to work, and I certainly don't think that being nasty about them outside of their work and even inside their work duty is appropriate. They're doing a job. Even Piers Morgan, I think one should have a little pity for Piers.